The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Tiger Technician Hour with your host, Basil Chapman. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Now, Basil Chapman.
Good morning, everyone. Basil Chapman here on this Friday, the 3rd of March. We're looking at the Dow up 12. It was up quite a bit more earlier on. It went to 33,161 and is trading right now at 33,025. So I see I'm reading here, Coda says ISM Services PMI is a beat. So that's bad for inflation. And yeah, we're going to be watching this closely. So this is the irony of this whole aspect of listening to the news, which, I mean, these are things you need to be aware of. Inflation is a very important aspect of the economy, always. And in this particular instance, what we're seeing is that there's rotation going on. I'll talk about that in a moment, but let me just run the numbers here. The Dow is still in the sell mode, even though we got a buy signal at the open on Wednesday, before the open on Wednesday, and we're holding that right now. We've taken a little bits off as kind of a reward for being correct, but the day is really young. And what I'd said earlier in the den, people were talking about different levels, and what I'd said is if you're looking, I would like, and I'll do this on the SPY, which is the S&P, this is a trading vehicle, the S&P Spider Fund. I'd say by Tuesday, I'd like to see the SPY trading at 401.35. And there was a reason to say that. A question came in, why so specific? Well, there are a couple of reasons. Look at this chart. Here's the daily chart. Now, I'm going to go through a bunch of charts in a moment to show you how many daily charts gave me sell signals, even sell modes, from peak D, E, F, or G over the last since the beginning of February, all right? So this made a peak G. It's unusual, but we've seen a lot of Gs. That means that the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, in the Chapman wave methodology, there's never an H, just continued sequentially. Why? One of the reasons is if the MACD, you see this green line here, the 9-period differential, if that just continues running very sharply, not even getting close to the red 26-period exponential moving average, there's a good chance it's going to go to a G, maybe a G/C, and then a minor pop to a D, and then a pullback. But that G is where you got to be a little bit careful. So we've seen from 418.31 on the 2nd of February, here we are a month later, having traded down to the 387 or 82 level, 382, with a very nice spike. And the reason why I said Tuesday, I didn't expect that it would almost do it today. Today's high is 400.92. It missed it I wouldn't say it was specifically to the 0.35 area, but the reason why I said 0.35 is that the 14-period moving average right here is at 401. Whoops, where did it go to? Let me just do it again. Is 400.76. I needed to see that there was enough upside activity to take this 9-period, the pink 9-period moving average and this 200-period moving average. Look, they're all coinciding. They're all within a couple of points. It's very unusual to see that. And I wanted to see the price of the SPY, and preferably I didn't want it to be today or Monday. I wanted to have a little bit of time. So maybe there's a little bit of a consolidation, but I wanted to see that it took time to start moving towards the 401s. And the reason being, look, the histogram of the daily chart is only now starting to prove it's going to take a lot. It would take probably 403.75 to see the 9-period moving average getting close to crossing positive on that's over the black period moving average, and to see the histogram improve. I don't think you could even get the histogram to cross positive, the 0% line to go positive. But I also want you to see the stochastic, which is at 15%, which is very poor, moving higher. So it's a whole process. I didn't want you to have it one big spike today, because that allows you to go Monday, Tuesday to be kind of weak. And I wanted to have a couple of days, maybe even making a gray peak A, meaning that it isn't a buy signal to buy mode yet. It's just gray. That would be blue. And that's the process. So the question was, why that number? And the reason is I needed to see it into the 401 area, preferably the 401.35, and preferably by Tuesday. I could do it today. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying this is the way I'd like to see it, because it would be, I need, if it holds here and then pulls back just a fraction on Monday and then goes higher on Tuesday, that's really going to help the histogram, the green line, get closer to the red line. And that's going to help the stochastic finally get into the 20% area or higher. So that's really my thinking. Okay, enough said. And on the downside, if there is a close, I'd have to eye it. I caught it below 397.50. That's just over 2 points lower. If there's a close in the next day or two below that, a close, not just a slide, but a close, then I'm going to say, you know what, this rally could fail. Okay, now let's go to the QQQ, NDX 100, trading quite nicely, up 2.61 at 296.22. I don't know what is in the Dow that's making it so weak. My Dow chart right now, I haven't got it on TradeStation. I've got it in another one, Warden, and it's a little bit behind. The way I'm looking at it, it should be higher, quite a bit higher, not up 40 points. All right, so this is now, look, keep your eye on the left side chart. Look at this. Keep your eye on the left side chart. Here we go. That's the daily chart. Boom. That looks terrible, right? That's the Dow chart. It's not anywhere close as nice as the other one. Keep your eye on this left side chart. Here is the S&P. A lot better. Not great, but a lot better. Sell mode from 4195.44 goes, and now for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the 8th day so far that it's under the 200 period moving average. That just says that is going to be strong resistance. That's the reason why I've been saying choppy to sideways is the action that I'm looking at mostly over this first period in March. Look at now. Let's go back to the QQQ. A much better looking chart. Isn't that interesting? Hey, wait a minute. Let's look at the IWM, the Russell 2000. Look at the way it's used the 200 period moving average as a balancing board so far, not a springboard, but a balancing board. So we'll see if it's going to be able to rise, because if the IWM anytime next week, if it manages to get into this candle here, the candle of the 17th of February, 193.37 was the high, 190.97 is the low, that is going to be very good action. Then I say finally we've got another bit of rotational leadership. And that's the IWM, the Russell 2000. Okay, just quickly, I want to go to gold. Gold is doing nicely. It's up 8. I'm a little suspicious of this move, only in the sense that 200 period moving average has been such a strong magnet at 1835 for so long that I think it's going to be a bit of a struggle to get out. It doesn't have to break down. It doesn't have to go down to 1790, but it could just stall right here. I don't think it's a bad a situation. GDX sneeze coming up. Couldn't wait for the break, huh? Just couldn't wait for the break. Leg B in the GDX, a nice action, up 24 cents at 28.41. That is the gold miners vector ETF. And the silver chart is acting very poorly. It's up 16 cents at 21.07. Basil Chapman, Target Editions Hour. I'll be back with a lot of questions I want to get to.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you looking for a way to consistently add winning trades to your portfolio? Tom O'Brien is here to help. Tom O'Brien has been successfully trading markets for over 30 years. A frequent contributor to TD Ameritrade Network and CNBC, Tom O'Brien founded TFNN over 20 years ago to help educate investors just like you. Tom's daily market newsletter, Market Insights, is published every morning when the market's open to give you the competitive informational edge you need to succeed. These newsletters are packed full of Tom's advanced technical analysis and are geared to deliver comprehensive strategies for a successful portfolio. Get Tom O'Brien's newsletter, Market Insights, today and try all of our products and newsletters 30 days risk-free with our money-back guarantee at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
I just want to go through this right now because it's fascinating. Ron says, hello, Basil, do you think RYCEY has some room to run? So I had followed this particular chart for years. I haven't for quite, I wouldn't be surprised if it's at least 6 months that I haven't even looked at it. This is not Rolls-Royce, but Rolls-Royce Holding Group, airplane. Most of the airplane engines, they don't have anything to do with the automobile anymore. I believe BMW, I think it's BMW has the Rolls. There was this whole thing that went on. The Rolls made a mistake. There was something in the contract. It was just the dumbest thing that could ever happen. And they lost the rights. It's just something crazy, as I recall. So anyway, Rolls-Royce, from what I've read, it is astounding that, so I'm just going to go to the Rolls-Royce automobile, how many Rollses were sold, and these are the ones that they mentioned that were up in the almost 500,000. So they being, for some people, it's just a toy, and for others, it's an investment. And for some people, it's a status symbol. But so let's go back to this because it's really the engines. Yes, I like it very much. I don't like these gaps, even though it's overseas. So you always get gaps in overseas stocks. A, B, C, it's just making a D today. No, it missed it by a penny or two. So it's trading at 1.7500. Let's see, 1.7... Yeah, so this is 1.7600, and now we've got a high today of 1.7600. So it's like a peak C1, C2. So the answer is absolutely, I think it does have room because I think that the whole airline industry is starting to, I mean, if anyone traveled in the last year, especially the last 6 to 3 months, those planes are full. Of course, there's a technique to do that. Airlines are doing it very well. But I think that these airline engines are, it's working for everything that I can read. It's companies, as I understand it, I could be wrong, but companies who have the Rolls-Royce engines have been very satisfied. That's kind of what I had read a while back, but I haven't followed it. But I do like it. And I'm just going to do the very last buy signal to buy mode right here, if I can get that. Right, it is. So the answer to the question is, and I just need to check because I think that was a fraction lower. So that is 1.2700, 1. Oh, there it is. That's what I wanted to see. Good. So there you are right there. So that becomes an A. Remember, all you do now is after you identify the lowest bar, you count each successively higher peak, alphabetized sequentially. That's going to be, that's the same. So this is C, and here's your D. So it's a little double top D. Yes, I like it. Now the big thing is this: where would I buy it? This is very difficult because it's got this huge space between 1.74 and the 1.45 area, even 1.4. It's just huge. It even goes lower than that for the huge gap. And it must have been earnings. I don't know what it was. So I'm going to say, yes, I like it. So your question is, do we think it has some room to go? And it is a huge leg E. I'm going to say, based on, now look at this monthly chart. You'll get a chuckle out of this. Look at this. I haven't got a note. I used to have these. There were two of them. There was RYCEY and RYCE some other letter. And I used to always get confused which one I should use, and I eventually ended up with the Y. But I don't have it notated as I had. But look at the way it went. Look, it went peak A, B, C, D, E. Whoops. Peak A, B, C, D. And then it pulls back. That was right December, January 2013-14, right on that high there. And that in the 20s, 21, 22 area. And look at this. It went all the way down to the 1.5s or something. So, yeah, this is something that I do think has potential to go up. You know what? Give me a little time over the weekend if I have a chance. By Monday or Tuesday. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. By Monday or Tuesday, I'll get back to you on this because I need to do a little homework. Why? Because I like it. I like it because I'm also watching now Boeing, and I don't believe. Okay. So I'm not sure which airlines are the ones that use Rolls-Royce. But I like the fact that Boeing is starting to work its way up in a very concerted way. The whole airline, I'm impressed that Jets, that's the U.S. Global Jets ETF, did have a big spike from the 14s to the 21s. That's a double. Sorry, that's a 50% gain. So I'm impressed. So I do believe yes. Now, how on earth? Oh, Airbus. Wait a minute. This is not Airbus. This is a different coincidence that I'm talking about the airlines and Dance's ABUS. Airbutus Biopharma. Yes, I like this. I had it in a big rectangle formation. It held the 200-period moving average. Right, so let me get back. Ron, I'm going to make a note here. Monday, I'll put /Tuesday, Ron for R. I always have to look up the name Roycey, RYCEY. And I'm just going to say absolutely, I just can't give it to you right now. I can't say to you, start a position now because that's a big percentage pullback. I have to think it through. But I do like it. And that was your question. Do I see it going higher? And I'm going to say yes. All right. So Airbus, look, I love rectangle, large. This is a large. Started off as a large rectangle. Now it's a narrow rectangle, and it's about to go to the upper part at 3. It's at 2.96 right now. I looked at this. I almost thought that this is one that fits into my screamer list. I love the way it was holding at the bottom here. It's up very nicely, up almost 5% today. Yes, I like it, and I suspect that this is going to be. So here's your starting point. Oh, this is what I meant to do. This is your starting point. I actually thought I had done this the other day, and then I said, oh, I've got to get back to it. This is your starting point. Here's your up arrow right here, and I'll circle it because this is where everything is gauged from. So at 2.18 or whatever that low is right there, that's peak A, that's peak B. Now you count every single peak, and that means that this is a peak A, even though you wouldn't think it. It is an A because here's your starting point down here. That's your B. This is Technical Friday, so I'm doing this. Here's your C, and this is already in leg D. So it needs to get to about 3.09. And if it does that, it's gone to leg D. If it does it now, it's a leg D in the daily and a leg D in the weekly. And D is where it often has another bit of a pullback. But I like it very much. If that's the question, yes. Still holding a January 24 option position on Airbus, ABUS, I should say. Short $3 puts, long $1.50 calls, put on for a 10-cent credit. Oh, Dan, that was, congratulations. You've done that very well. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You know what to do. It's acting extremely well. And it's also the cup formation. You see this cup formation? I call it the lopsided gravy cup. Have a look at this. Lopsided gravy cup. So the base is here on the low, but I don't do that. I like to try to make it even though it's a lopsided gravy cup. It's going back to the high. Have a look at this. Here's your E-mini. Don't you see something similar? Come on. There. Look at that. There it is. Lopsided gravy cup. And it went all the way to a peak D, pulls back, and now we've got a brand new AB. This is leg C. I'll be back. Basil Chapman, Tiger Technicians Hour.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metal sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, JDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
All right, so 2 questions came in. One is about how, and I thought I did it yesterday. How what was the decision to get you to go long before the open on Thursday? That's number one. And number 2 is I just see now. Wait, let me see what the question is. This is interesting. Let me see, because I had a question that I completely forgot about this. So Don says, a while back you put in Chapman Wave unconventional flat base restart for the Bitcoin. How did that ever work out? Let me have a look. at BTC. Oh, let me explain. This is Technical Friday. I'm just going to go through this quite quickly because it's in the Chapman methodology. Once you identify the lowest low, the idea is to see whether or not it can be upgraded from a buy signal to a buy mode. The implication is that it will go to at least a D. That's what I'm expecting in the dollar, that it should go to a leg D. Stalled at a peak C, but we'll see what happens. But every once in a while, if the idea of the instant restart is that within 3 bars after peak D, there's a new leg E. But that E, if it occurs, and especially if the technicals are strong, you can consider that it's an alternate count, E slash a new A, then F is the next high, and that goes to F slash B, G slash C, and there's never an H, so it'll go to a D. That's the anticipation. But if the pullback after D is deeper than D itself, then it's not just, if it just holds and then goes higher, but it keeps coming back to this level, then you've got yourself what I call a flat base restart. Think Simpson, I haven't even seen him for years. Think Bart Simpson's hat, that scraggly top with the peaks. But it keeps coming back. But if it takes out, after what would have been an instant restart, it keeps coming back, and then it takes out the low that was made just after that D, after the E, that is. Then I type in Chapman flat base restart to the low that was made. In this case, I typed in, I forgot all about 22,300. So I keep the circle, the yellow circle, to say that's your instant restart. I also type it in, and it already took out after peak G slash C, took out the low. So this is one where it's almost like a right arm extension or a rogue wave. It's really like a right arm extension where there was enough residual strength just to spike higher and then fail. And look what's happened. It's come back again. So this, yes, this is thank you. I forgot. There's another one sitting out there. Was it Cisco? There's another one that I had typed it in, and I said, let's just put it there, and I'll look back at some point. And I'll say, oh, there it is. I'm not actually trading. They're fantastic trades, but you have to have patience for them. So sometimes I just don't have patience. I wait. Why? Because when it keeps coming back, at some point it's going to take out that low. And then you might be ready for a rally. So Bitcoin, not good, acting very well here. It's almost like a head and shoulders pattern, but it's on one of my favorite patterns. The peak D with the failure after the doji candle says, and under the 200 period moving average says, it's in a sell mode in the daily, not the weekly. The weekly is still doing okay. Thank you, Don. I completely forgot about that. Okay, next question was, ZUO. I had spoken. I'm almost sure that for subscribers to my opening call, every weekend I have about an hour that I have a video and I go through just a ton of things. It's almost like a webinar in a way. And I believe I had this one, ZUORA, Zuoro Inc. monetization platform billing. I didn't even finish the month. Look, peak A, peak B, peak C, D, E, F. Made a peak F, and then it topped out at 23, plunged down to the 7s. So this is very interesting. What do you do when you have a 200 period exponential moving average that acts like a magnet, and then it spikes like yesterday, way above it, and today's gone even higher? Well, what happens is this should become very good as a base. It's trading at 9.72, up 9 cents. So I am calling it a peak E, and the leg E. The reason why I wanted to bring this up is because of the count. This is where you see, if I did this automated, if I did this, and I've tried every once in a while, I have someone working on this, there are just enough nuances to, at this particular point, for me anyway, that even with artificial intelligence, I think at some point someone will put this all together. I'll be long gone probably. And they'll say, oh man, all you need is the alphabet, A to G, and look what you can do. But at this particular point, how would I explain this? Is this a brand new A? Now I can call it an A. I couldn't call it an A yesterday because the low cannot be the high bars at the same time, unless it's at a peak D. This is not. So this is, now I can call this an A. Yesterday there was nothing. It was an E only because it went above that D. But today I can say, aha, now it could be an E/A. And now you have to do other homework. So this is where it is difficult in a sense if you aren't in it. If you're in it, there's nothing to do. You've got fabulous support. Everything's just great. The weekly chart's gone to a leg B. The MACD, stochastic are all good. All you have to do now is handle the trade. So I wanted to show you that sometimes, how would I automate it is the question. And the answer is, I would try to be as strict as possible and say, you could call it an E as a continuation of this A, B, C, D, E buy mode, or it's a brand new buy signal. You did get your nice V-shaped turnaround, the stochastic, the on-balance volume ran, the MACD is just about to, almost close to crossing positive. This could be a brand new move, but you don't know. So if you're in for a brand new move now, in other words, a brand new position, this is tough. This is where I would need to see how it pulls back at any point. If it takes out 9, say 35, it says up, single leg A, up, it's going to fail. Be careful. So I wanted to show you sometimes it's very easy and sometimes it's a little tricky. A question came in here. Paul says, Rolls-Royce has no earnings, but that means nothing to you. It never has. I think it's worth talking about that because he might not be the only one saying that. First of all, I do consider earnings to be important, but I do consider there are some stocks that have their own velocity, their own momentum, their own way, their own mechanism that has absolutely nothing to do with all those things you're talking about. It couldn't care about dividends. It couldn't care. I mean, let's face it. Tesla was screaming to the upside way before they were even making money. So what are you going to say? I don't want this 300 or 400 or 2,000% gain because it doesn't. No, please just separate these things. And please don't put me in a category. The category here is that I try to be as broad-minded about every position as I can. We're not getting a dividend at this particular point on some areas, but they are giving very nice gains, percentage gains. I think that's very important. But as far as dividends is concerned, every once in a while we'll get something specifically for dividends. I don't ignore that. It's just that if you're looking at hundreds and hundreds of stocks, as I do, there are all sorts of things. I don't want to give up a gain just because it doesn't fit your criteria of saying no earnings. I mean, you couldn't run a stock market like that. Very few things would work until finally they start to work, and that's usually where they're about to make it top. So just be careful with that as far as I'm concerned. I'll be back. Basil Chapman.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Hi, folks. So, yeah, a lot of people have actually said the same thing, just block it. No, I think it's important. I would be able to just correct inaccuracies. Everybody's allowed an opinion, but to me, it's inaccuracies that need to be, you need to verify what you're saying. That's all. So, and I think not only that, I mean, there could be valid opinions. That's all. So I want you to show you this. This is Technical Friday. So what I like to do with the E-mini futures, because it trades in quarter point increments, because there's a parallel high. If there are two parallel highs, especially, but if there's a parallel high, I tend to use it as a peak. So this 1 minute chart right here at 1024 with a price of 4,018, the very next bar is a high of 4,018. Then the next one goes all the way to 4,022. So what I like to do is to be prepared. All the technicals are still good, so I didn't have to do anything. And very often it still goes to the D. I'm being a little cautious. So what happens is then I just move this over. There's your real D. Here's your peak C. And then I change the color. Or sometimes I keep the color because I want to show that I used the peak D and that I was, I got a couple of positions. You can take one off and then one gets a tighter stop. So this one here is, in fact, there we go, a peak D. A C, and then that goes to D. And now it's consolidating again. Look how many Ds there are, Ds and E's. Look at that. D, it goes to E, and then it goes to E, and then it goes to D, and it goes to D, and pulls back each time. Now, this is the toughest one. I like to talk about 2-click sessions. There was one yesterday that could have worked out if you were able to get right at the low and give yourself a very tight stop. But if you got it just off the low, that's at about 9:30 or so, then you were stuck because it kept coming back to it, taking it, and then it would move up. But this, I never expected that from where we were in the early morning already up, that it would turn into a 2-click session. So look at this. 1 click, I didn't do this. I've just been very, very busy today, and I didn't have a chance to do anything. So look at this right here at, hey, why is that happening? Ugh. All right, so right here at 3 o'clock in the morning, I wasn't up at 3 o'clock, thank goodness. At about 3:10, at 39.75, it flips positive. The green goes over the 40, and it's green all the way through. So this does look to me like a peak F right here, and a pullback. It had an instant restart, but this took too long. So I thought, okay, could continue. So it goes to G, but here's this A, the same A that we were looking at before, pulls back, and look how nicely it's holding. So I'm calling this leg C for now on the 10-minute chart. So far, everything is doing it's a really nice session. I'm like, oh, ping, 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 here we go. Let's see what we've got. We've got Brenton Martinez. Brent, how are you?
Doing fantastic, Basil. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So you'd like to look at...
I would like your analysis on DM. My main question, just kind of keep it simple, is that I did buy this as one of those I bought towards the end of last year, and I followed it for quite some time, and so I'm in it around, I think I bought it at $1.29, but I wanted to ask you about that initial run off the bottom when it gapped up that day back. I don't have the exact date, but you can see it. I had that as a C, and then we had all this kind of downward movement, and then today it finally surpassed that high. I just wanted to get your thoughts on how you would count that and just what you think of it.
So, okay, I love that you brought this up. So this is a Desktop Metal Inc. Desktop Metal? We used to have a company that I always thought was actually Desktop. What was it? It was a steel company. Steel Dynamics. Was that Steel Dynamics? But then I found it actually is a real steel company. I thought it was Desktops, Steel Desktops. Anyway, so we've got Desktop Company. DM is the symbol, trading at 2.25, up 21 cents today. It has a fabulous move. I'm just going to open this up. Let's see, what is the time? Good, I've got time. I'm going to do this in a little bit more detail. Look, we've got the left side high of November the 14th, November the 15th at 2.51 has a spike and a sharp pullback. So that to me, now that we've covered most of the other little spikes when it was on the way down and had pop up, that's the one where I would grab the left side there. In fact, I'd bump up against the Grand Canyon wall. I'd go even further back, and then I'd go to a specific point, and I'd go to this high that was made right here. This is the candle of the 17th, I think it is, of December. Let me double check. Yep, 17th of January. And then I would go left side, right side, price, time match. All I do is click. You don't have to do all these fancy tools. You can just use a trend line and it moves to the right. And I say, is that right? Is that too much? Looks to me like it could be too much. So, yep, it's okay. It can go a little further to the right. And then what I do is I like to take the trough on the left side that looks important to me, and I draw a Chapman wave inside wedge target resistance line, and I see how far out it can go. Okay, so what's happened is this big spike, the gap in that February high that was made on the February the 5th? February the 2nd, pops up to 232, gaps up, and then fills that gap, takes it out with an inverted V, like a little pyramid formation or Eiffel Tower, straight up, straight down, goes even lower. And then what happens is it holds with a beautiful doji candle right there at 1.44 on the 28th. And then this is a start. I don't know what the story is with this, that it has so many gaps, but then it gaps up yesterday and then follows through today, bumps into this resistance line that I've drawn in. But this is a pattern. Now, let me just show you this. You see, I don't know if you're looking at my charts, but if you're looking at the 1 minute chart, we could have gone back to the chart I was looking at earlier on, but of course by now I've already forgotten it. But if you're looking at this lopsided pattern in the E-mini at 9:10 this morning, went to peak E, pulls back, then has a sudden sharp decline going into the 9:30 bell, opening bell, and then works its way up. It's a lopsided cup. I've drawn it as a symmetrical, but actually it's lopsided before it broke that high. So you've got exactly the same thing here. You've got a lopsided move to the upside, which says that the momentum off the low that was made 4 sessions ago, especially with the follow through today, is so strong that if this move, this particular leg right now, takes out the high that was made on the 2nd, which is at 232, and today's high so far is 228. If it takes it out in this leg, not only do I count it as a leg D, but I also say, has this begun a new momentum phase? That it is a D, but it could go even higher, because if this at any point breaks above this resistance line, that has the high of the 15th of November, 251, if at any point in this, it needs speed for this particular move, because that's the way this works. It moves very nicely to the upside. Then once it starts down, it can either go sideways or very quickly down. So this is a move that needs, it's got the follow through from yesterday. That's fabulous. So if this at any point starts to trade at 256, then that 200 period moving average will become a target. But I also need to just tell you what support will be. So hold on. Can you hold on through the break?
Yeah, sure can, Basil.
Okay, we'll hold on through the break, and then we'll be back. And then
Are you grinding in the market, but seeing little to no return? Or are you a successful trader, simply looking to make your job a little easier? Learn to take the path of least resistance with David White's powerful trading newsletter. David White is an accomplished trader whose deep understanding of technology and the markets allows him to consistently find and share winning trades. Support and resistance define the ranges in which stocks trade. By understanding these trading ranges, David White is able to find the path of least resistance. David White's trading newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, is delivered daily before the markets open to make every trading day an easy win. Visit TFNN.com today and subscribe to David White's Ultimate Trading Newsletter for $119 a month and try all of our newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Take the path of least resistance at TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Hi folks, we're on with Brent and we're looking at DM, the symbol Desktop Metal Ink, and I just looked it up and wanted to see it does metal and carbon fiber 3D printing. I'm starting to like the 3D sector very much. I don't know if that was attractive to you, Brent, but yeah, this is good. Brent, there?
Okay.
Oh,
yes,
hi.
They bought X1 probably a couple of years ago. It was another 3D printing company.
Okay. All right. So
I was going to just mention real quick, Basil. I don't want to interrupt you, but I do have it as going to 233 today, which would have created D, but maybe yours doesn't show that. But I looked on multiple platforms, and that's the high I have for the day.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. I've got it 232, 33. That's it. It's already made D. Excellent. Wow, good eye. So here it is at D. So it's accomplished, at least in the buy signal to buy mode, it's accomplished everything it needs to do. Now it's got the new state. So I'm doing this by eye, but 218 to 214. I'd like that to hold on any pullback in the next 2 days, and I would like to see by Tuesday, I don't want to see it break 214, but if it by Tuesday can get to 242, 243, that'll be the action that you want to see. So congratulations, very nice positioning in good eye.
All right. Thank you so much, Basil. I really appreciate your help. Have a great day and a great weekend.
You too. Thank you for calling. So, folks, I'm going to be doing Tom's show at 3 o'clock today. Tom O'Brien, 3 o'clock Eastern Time. My pleasure to be doing that. And just before we wrap up, don't forget, great programming here. We've still got, let's see, you've got Steve Rhodes coming up. You've got Steve, then you've got Thinkorswim. You've got Dave White. I'll be doing Tom's show. And check out my opening call, my daily newsletter. I think you'll be kind of happy about that. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you in a couple of hours. Otherwise, see you next week on Monday.